Look to the growing edge. All around us, worlds are dying and new worlds are being born. All around us, the fruit ripens on the tree, the roots are silently at work in the darkness of the earth, against a time when there shall be new leaves, fresh blossoms, green fruit. Such is the growing edge. It is the extra breath from the exhausted lung, the one more thing to try when all else has failed, the upward reach of life when weariness closes in upon all endeavor. This is the basis of hope in moments of despair, the incentive to carry on when times are out of joint and men have lost their reason, the source of confidence when worlds crash and dreams whiten into ash. The birth of the child, life's most dramatic answer to death. This is the growing edge incarnate. Look well to the growing edge. These are the words of the Reverend Howard Thurman. This month we're looking for inspiration and wisdom from his devotional book, Meditations of the Heart. Thurman was a pastor, a scholar, dean of the chapel at Howard University and later at Boston University. Born in 1900, he founded in 1944 the Church for the Fellowship of All People, an interracial, intercultural church. He wrote these meditations and prayers for his congregation. So far this month, we've talked about courage, including how evil works and how despair can be contagious. We've also talked about dreams, how they can help us experience the meaning and purpose of life, and how they can be contagious too. This week, our topic is struggle. None of my reflections this month are meant to tell you that there is nothing to be afraid of. There are many legitimate things to be afraid of. This is a simple fact. We may each fear different things, but fearful things, fearful experiences, and fearful possibilities exist. We can't make them go away. We may want to, but we cannot. We have to go through them. When faced with that simple truth, we are also faced with decisions about how we're going to go through them. How will we confront that which we fear? Which things can we impact or influence? Will we be destroyed by the things we fear, or will our spirits be strong? All of life, Howard Thurman said, is involved in struggle. Struggle, he said, is an inescapable aspect of life itself. He describes it first in nature, in the struggle of a seagull breaking out of its shell and into new life. He wrote this: "The process took many hours. There was the incessant pecking away at the shell from the inside. The rhythm of the sound was interrupted by occasional noises of apparent distress and anguish." The seagull struggles in this way because it's how a bird enters life. It doesn't think about the fact that it's struggling. It does what life requires. And the life itself gives the bird the power and capacity to enter life and live it. Thurman describes a similar process of the butterfly struggling its way out of a cocoon and into its own wings. The seagull's occasional noises of apparent distress and anguish may mirror the distress and anguish in most struggles, but humans have an extra burden when it comes to struggle, Thurman suggests. We know that we are struggling. We think about our struggles and perhaps wish that we didn't have them. Sometimes we may resent our struggles or grow angry with God or baffled by the idea that God has somehow abandoned us. It is a double burden because in addition to the struggle itself, we have all these thoughts and feelings about the struggle. Thurman says this double struggle is underscored by the difference between the private ends of the individual and the impersonal purposes and forces that surround him. So we want one thing, whether it's peace or health or an income or simple dignity or justice and fairness, but other forces are pushing us in a different direction. We must struggle, and we know that we're struggling. The interesting thing to remember, Thurman writes, is one's own struggle is individual, but it is not unique. All of life is involved. In fact, struggle is an inescapable aspect of life itself. But here's the thing, in Thurman's words, implicit in the struggle, which is a part of life, is the vitality that life itself supplies. So, the seagull struggles with anguish and distress to break out of its shell and enter life. But life is already in the bird. Life is reaching for life. The same is true for us. There's life in us that is giving us the power to struggle, even though we may have anguish and distress. Thurman says it this way: implicit in the struggle, which is a part of life, is the vitality that life itself supplies. To affirm this with all of one's passionate endeavor is to draw deeply upon the resource available to anyone who dares to draw upon it. In the same reflection, Thurman also says, there is always strength for struggle. The sure knowledge of the fact gives wings to the spirit, even when the struggle is deepest. And this strength for the struggle is the power of God. He says, the aliveness of life and the power of God move through the same channel at the point of greatest need and awareness. Life through God, or God through life, provides strength for the struggle, even at the moment of greatest need. Well, friends, our need is very great, and God is also very great. God's power is the power that makes us alive. It is enough to carry us through this present struggle. So let us embrace life and embrace the struggle with our passionate endeavors. That's our part. Pursue the passionate endeavors, and let us dare to draw deeply from the resource that God is. Even though there are fearful things afoot, be not afraid. Life is bigger than the things we fear. God is bigger. Look well to the growing edge. The spark of God's Spirit dwells within you. Trust it.
There's more that rises in the morning than the sun, and more that shines in the night than just the moon. There's more than just this fire here that keeps me warm in a shelter that is larger than this room. And there's a loyalty that's deeper than mere sentiment, and a music higher than the songs that I can sing. The stuff of earth competes for the allegiance owed only to the giver of all good things. So if I stand, let me stand on the promise that you will pull me through. And if I can't, let me fall on the grace that first brought me to you. And if I sing, let me sing for the joy that is born in me these songs. And if I weep, let it be for the one who is longing for her home. that dances on the prairies than the wind, more that pulses in the ocean than the tide. There's a love that's fiercer than the love between friends, more gentle than a mother when her baby's at her side. And there's a loyalty that's deeper than mere sentiment, and a music higher than the songs that I can sing. The stuff of earth competes for the allegiance, owed only to the giver of all good things. And if I stand, let me stand on the promise that you will pull me through. And if I can't, let me fall on the grace that has brought me to you. And if I sing, let me sing for the joy that is born in me these songs. And if I weep, let it be as the one who is longing for her home. And if I stand,